Hey everyone! Today we're diving into a topic that people have very strong opinions about: immigration. Some folks think immigrants are the backbone of the economy, bringing new ideas and culture. Others worry they take jobs, change traditions, or put pressure on public services. So, are immigrants good or bad for a country? Well, the answer isn't a simple yes or no. Like most big questions, it depends on how we look at it. So let's break it down together. Let's start with money, because, let's be honest, that's what a lot of this debate is about. In many countries, immigrants actually help the economy a lot. Take the US, for example. Immigrants make up around 17% of the labor force, and they're especially important in areas like healthcare, tech, farming, and construction. And they're not just working jobs, they're creating them too. Did you know that Elon Musk, yep, the Tesla guy, was born in South Africa? Or that the co-founder of Google, Sergey Brin, was an immigrant from Russia? These are people who literally changed the world and created thousands of jobs along the way. Also, a lot of immigrants take up roles that locals often don't want, like picking crops, cleaning, or working long hours in restaurants and warehouses. They fill in labor gaps that would otherwise hurt the economy. But what about the argument that they take away jobs from locals? It's a common fear, but studies don't really back it up. Economists have found that immigrants and locals usually work different types of jobs, and instead of replacing each other, they actually complement each other. For example, an immigrant might work in construction, while a local with better language skills gets promoted to manage the site. Now let's talk about culture. Some people worry that when a lot of immigrants move into a country, the culture changes too fast. And yeah, that can happen. Maybe your favorite store gets replaced by a restaurant selling unfamiliar food, or you start hearing more foreign languages on the street. That can feel unsettling. But here's the thing. Culture is always changing, even without immigration. Music, fashion, food, they evolve naturally over time. Immigration just adds more flavors to the mix. Think about how much we love things like tacos, sushi, or Bollywood films, or how K-pop became a global obsession. All of these are examples of cultural exchange through immigration. Cities like Toronto, London, and New York are known around the world for their vibrant diversity, and they're also global centers for business, creativity, and innovation. That's not a coincidence. Sure, integration can be hard. There can be misunderstandings, language barriers, or even clashes in values. But with good education programs, language classes, and community events, these issues can be managed. In fact, second-generation immigrants, the kids of immigrants, often grow up more integrated and even more patriotic than the average citizen. They speak the language, go to local schools, and blend both cultures in really unique ways. Okay, this is the tricky one: security. Some people worry that immigration brings crime or terrorism. It's a scary thought, and it's used a lot in political speeches. But the data tells a different story. Most studies show that immigrants are less likely to commit crimes than people born in the country. That may sound surprising, but it's true. Many immigrants come for safety and opportunity. They're not trying to mess things up. They're trying to build better lives. Of course, governments still need to screen people properly, check backgrounds, and make sure the system isn't being abused. But closing borders completely out of fear, that usually does more harm than good. Another common concern is that immigrants use up public services like healthcare, schools, or housing without paying their share. But again, the facts paint a different picture. Immigrants, even undocumented ones, often pay taxes through payroll, sales taxes, and even property taxes. In the US alone, undocumented immigrants contribute billions to Social Security, even though they might never get benefits. Plus, many immigrants are young and healthy, which means they use fewer services than aging native populations. In countries like Italy or Japan, where the birth rate is low and the population is getting older, immigrants help balance things out. Let's be real for a second. Immigration debates aren't always about facts. A lot of it is about fear, fear of change, fear of losing jobs, or fear of being replaced. And unfortunately, politicians often use immigration as a scapegoat to win votes. They paint immigrants as the reason for all kinds of problems, even when those problems have deeper causes, like bad economic policy or lack of investment in education. So it's super important to ask ourselves, are we judging based on fear or facts? So, are immigrants good or bad for a nation? If we're being honest, it depends. Immigration isn't perfect. There are challenges. But when it's managed well, with smart policies and support systems, the benefits are huge. Economically, culturally, and socially. We're all human, and most people, no matter where they're from, want the same basic things: safety, opportunity, and a better life for their families. So maybe the better question isn't, are immigrants good or bad? Maybe it's, how can we make immigration work better for everyone? Thanks for listening. If you've got thoughts, drop them in the comments. Just keep it respectful. Let's build understanding, not walls.